Hello everyone, welcome to another episode on M&D Fantasy Corner. I'm Duncan and this over here is Momo.
Hello, everybody. It's been a long time. Thing is, how long since we released our last episode?
I think it was like month, maybe even more.
Yeah. And this is the thing, guys. I had to go to Turkey to work as a tour guide, but I wasn't sure that I will go at all. So me and Duncan, we kind of prepared 6, 7 episodes, but we were planning to prepare more. But because, I was sure that I will not go because of this coronavirus stuff, we thought, let's not prepare anymore, there's no need. And then they called me and say, you need to go. And you only had like 4 or 5 episodes left. So, sorry guys, but it was simply, life got in the way.
Yeah, Momo didn't have good connection for recording there, but from my side I want to apologize because I wanted to make like an episode why we are not releasing the episode, or at least make some note or something, but I was too tired. I'm working overtime, blah blah blah. I don't want to kill you with that. I think we should kind of jump into the book 4 or book 1 of second trilogy of Mistborn.
Yeah, man, this is the thing, we were planning to do it for a long time, but I always have trepidation about reading this book, honestly, because like you probably know, I didn't enjoy Mistborn original trilogy that much. I didn't connect with any of character except guy who died in book 1. I thought that tone was bleak. I simply, it was great book and everything, but I didn't enjoy it. And I was postponing reading this second trilogy for a long time. And now when I was in Turkey, I didn't have internet. I was bored out of my mind when I had free time. So, I said, what the fuck? Let's just start it and see how it goes. And I think I read those 3, actually 2 books. 2 or 3?
3.
3. I read them in like 3 days. There was never a book, I really like Brandon books. But he never wrote a book with characters that I instantly connected like Wayne and Vex. It was, I swear, man, from the very first page, I was hooked in. There was not for me, not a single boring moment. And this is the first time, man. Usually, Brandon, you already read like decent amount of his work. Usually, his characters are, at least for me, I cannot connect with them. But man, with these two, from especially Wayne, from the instantly from the get go, I fucking love these 2 guys.
You guys, Momo told me before we were recording, I think yesterday, you told me that like you enjoyed this more, like the most enjoyable
Yes.
from Brendo's work. I was like, what? Even more than Stormlight? And that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, really?
Yes, here is the thing, man. Like if you compare Stormlight, it's like 900, 1000 maybe pages book. 6, 7, 8. I'm not sure. These are like 3 times. Each book is 3 times smaller. But in every book of Stormlight, there were parts that I like didn't enjoy, characters that I enjoy less or I found boring. There were parts that I simply read because I wanted just to pass it to come to fun parts. And in this book, man, I didn't have problem like that at all. And like I said, it was primarily because of characters. Because as much as I like, for example, Kaladin, I don't connect with him as much as I connect with Vex and Wade. I don't know. He's, I admire him, but I don't want to be him. But man, I instantly wanted to be, especially I wanted to be Vex, but I know that I'm more similar to Wade.
I see.
I just felt that connection, man, instantly. And
Uh,
especially, man, I think Wayne reminded me a lot, on who?
on who?
On Matt from Wheel of Time.
Oh, yeah, he's kinda, he doesn't care. He's just,
He doesn't care, but he does care.
I got it. So for me, to be honest, this trilogy was like I enjoyed first trilogy more.
And there will be one more book, you know that?
Of course, I know it's coming. But I'm just gonna say I enjoyed first trilogy more. I enjoy, of course, Stormlight more. It's not. There was one thing, and I really wanna ask these our people from the chat, from the channel. Uh, there is. Did you find parallels from this book with Sherlock Holmes and his story?
Yeah, little bit.
So I have no idea. I never go to the internet. I don't look up for the things that I'm about to read. But in this book, there was a storyline that is completely identical to a storyline from one game, Sherlock Holmes. And I'm gonna tell you now. And guys, you tell me who copied who, or if this is something from like one of the famous lore stories that everybody is kind of taking from. So the story is with stealing those trains, you know.
Yeah.
So they steal the train and then they kind of use those barges, large big ones, and transfer it. And the phantom train is just, it's not even train, it appears, but it's actually just a lamp. So there is exactly, step by step, same storyline in Sherlock Holmes games, but completely same as it is
Man,
in this
it
book.
probably, Sherlock game was before this, honestly. But I didn't play that game.
It's fairly new game. It's not one of the older games. I don't know. Like I should have gone and investigated this obviously to see which one was before, but it doesn't matter to me. I believe that
But
this
it's
phantom train
yeah,
theft is like famous story before, and everybody kind of have their take on it. But
yeah,
it
but
took.
that is not like, maybe I don't care too much, but that is not story. It was one of the things that happened. It wasn't too important to the story.
But doesn't it bother you, man? That like you want, like to me, Cosmere, when I look at it, like it kind of feel weird. There are other things that are parallel to Sherlock Holmes, with Vex and Wayne. For example,
Man, when you said parallels, my mind went right away to Vex and Wayne being Sherlock and
Dr. Watson.
Watson. Yes,
Yeah,
that's. But I don't see that as necessarily bad thing. Even if he like planned it, maybe it was homage or whatever. I don't know, to be honest.
it has to
But
be because the more when you realize it like this, like at first I wouldn't even think of it, but then Era is similar. Then he's working with police, but he's not police officer. Then he's
yeah,
also good like with laboratory stuff. Same like Sherlock Holmes. It's like it's clearly homage to it. Okay, but what I didn't appreciate is identical story.
yeah,
That's what
but
I
it's
didn't
not
appreciate.
that identical story. It's like identical train part.
But it's
And
very
in my
identical.
yes, but in my opinion, that's not important, to be honest.
It's not important, but it's just weird. Like, why wouldn't you invent, something original?
Yeah, but there is also possibility, honestly, that he didn't know.
No,
That
that's
he,
that's impossible because it's exactly same storyline. Absolutely, if you play this game, you would see it's same
yeah, I didn't
story.
play that game.
Yeah.
No,
So
I
that's
don't know.
I
It doesn't
just
bother me,
wondering
honestly.
if Brando never said if he intentionally did it, or if it was like I don't know what, or maybe they
I,
copied him. So I don't know. I didn't
man, I
investigate
don't. When did you play that game?
like like 2 or 3 months ago.
Okay, then I don't know which is, before.
I
Honestly,
really I
because
really
this
don't know.
book was, I don't know when it was out, but there were at least 3, 4 years ago.
Do you know what now? There's possibility that even other elements of the story are like other missions of a sort. I don't know how to call them because they are
Yeah,
multiple. That they are also kind of copies, and that bothers me. Because
yeah.
this
No,
one is exactly
I
step
will.
by step.
I will honestly check after this video to see which is before which. But
Yeah.
either way, I'm not bothered by it at
I'm
all.
not super bothered. To me, it doesn't matter, of course. I mean, because like magic and everything else, it's more important to me than silly little storyline. But it's still kind of like, why wouldn't you make original story? I
But
don't know.
maybe he did. That's the point. Maybe the game stole.
Yeah, that would be, I would love that, to be honest. I would love that that's true.
But
So,
either way, like I said, I found that kind of unimportant. But what I truly like, and I think this is the reason why I enjoy this book, because he didn't need to do as much world building as you need to do in like other trilogies of his or other series of his, because this world kind of already existed. He just now moved it 300 years ago, 300 years in future. But you you kind of feel familiar with the world, especially, man. And I know that you didn't read those secret histories, and maybe I should have told you to read it, but I think I read somewhere that Brandon said that ideally you wanna read that last after reading this second trilogy. But I kind of like, reading about characters that we met in Mistborn, reading about them 300 years in future, like what is their legacy, how they are viewed, how, for example, Kelsier is viewed, and it will be a little bit more. You will understand it more after you read Secret History, or for example, how Spook is viewed.
yeah,
You know, you know who Spook is.
Lord Mistborn,
Yes.
of
But you
course.
don't know how he became Lord Mistborn.
Well, how? What do you mean? I don't know. It was in the end he became kind of main guy after everything went down in first trilogy.
Yes, but in Secret Histories, he became full Mistborn.
Okay.
And he is the last one. And as you realize now, because Harmony is now one god, there are no full Mistborns anymore. Like Ultimate is having like one of each, basically. One power from Allomancy, one power from Ferukemi. And I like that concept also, man.
Oh,
There are
of
so
course.
many crazy possibilities.
So did anyone calculate how many? It should probably
I
easily.
Probably somebody did, but I didn't. But because it's very hard to count because we don't know all metals.
Don't we know in the end of the each book Ars Arcanum showing like 1616?
I don't think we know all metals because there is new metal at play in future books
Oh, okay.
that nobody knows, what to do. And these combinations are very, very rare. For example, I think, maybe it's quite possible that some of these combinations, maybe nobody was ever born with them.
Well, Miles seemed to be the most imbalanced one by far. Double gold.
Man, but that is the thing. That is something that I don't quite fully understand. That is called compounding. When you have, I don't know how to explain it, but when you have, when you are, when you have same ferrochemy and allomancy metal, you can do crazy shit with it because uh, I think burning metal doesn't give you any specifically good power. I think it let you see like version of yourself in some other timeline if you do some shit, differently. But man, if you had both, he's basically immortal.
But what about, for example, I think it would be much cooler if, for example, it was two of something else. It shouldn't be like immortality. It should be something else, but equally imbalanced somehow. I
I don't
hope so.
know, maybe, but I know because gold is for healing,
Yeah.
so it
So
has logic. Because vein burns, vein has same power, but only ferrochemical power,
yeah.
right?
But I think we should
Yeah,
make a special episode about just magic once we settle everything.
but
You know.
I just wanna say, man, that Vex powers is kind of the best combo in my opinion,
No. What do you
man.
mean best? Why?
And, not on the face value, man. But first thing, man, you can fly,
Okay.
and that is very like. Can you imagine any other power working as well as with flight as being, heavier or lighter?
Uh, yeah. I mean,
Which,
lurching is also kind of cool. It would make you better at flying, probably. You
yeah,
know.
man. But I know, and what else I also like. Actually, you cannot store its ferrochemical ability, man.
Yeah, but how would it work? I don't know how it works in that.
It work differently.
Yeah,
You
I
cannot
was
be
comparing it to Win because she
yes,
was, you know, like
yes,
Superman.
but also here is the thing, man. Ferrochemical abilities usually have drawback. Like Wayne have also one. He can heal himself, but to do that, he need to spend time being sick. But man, there is no really downside to being to having power that Vex have.
Yeah,
You can store it easily. You can store it non-stop, basically.
yeah, that's true.
I really don't see downside to it.
I agree actually. It really is good.
Wayne, yes, Wayne power is awesome, but man, being sick sucks, and you need to manage it. And you will see in later books because they are non-stop in action. He really has problem like storing enough health to to have it enough, basically.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking, I think we had a discussion about this. Would you rather be a Lamancer or Ferrochemist? And that's why I thought Ferrochemy has like weakness because you need time to actually have it. And
I
like
agree, but man, in like if you are prepared, you can simply sustain much more than. And if you are full ferrochemist, for example, we were talking about that. I think you basically have immortality.
yeah.
That's a huge advantage.
But we definitely need to make episode just about this magic system, explore stuff, you know.
Yeah, man, there are so many fun combinations. What else I wanted to speak about?
You know what?
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but there will be another trilogy of or four books. I don't know, like set in modern age.
Yeah,
You know that,
yeah, I heard about that.
and man, to be honest, I didn't know. I was skeptic about how magic system will work in kind of this, let's call it steampunk environment. And I just want to say that I was pleasantly surprised, man. And
I did,
I cannot wait for modern age.
yeah, I don't doubt anymore because oh, actually, I almost spoiled something from book three, so let's not go there. Maybe.
But I just want to reiterate because this video is getting too long. But in my opinion, this is most readable Brandon book. I say that I enjoy it the most, but that is in part for two reasons. First, is shorter than his other books, and like I said, he didn't have need to do as much world building as he did, for example, for first book of Stormlight. Because first book of Stormlight, man, he's introducing us new world, very alien world compared to us, and it's understandable that he need to take time to do world building, and world building, it's fun, but You don't want to read about leaves and vegetation, or I don't know, animals or whatever. And this book kind of, for me, hit the ground running. From the very first chapter, it was like very fast paced. Shit was happening non-stop. It was like movie, I swear, like thriller that lasts hour and a half, and it's jam packed with action and story, and I like that a lot.
Did you figure out who was? Because if you enjoyed this, you would for sure enjoy Sherlock Holmes games. But did you figure
Man, I
out?
read a long time ago a lot of Sherlock Holmes books.
Yeah, so of course, then you enjoyed it, of course. So just this is the question: were you Sherlock Holmes? Did you figure out who was behind all of this? That his uncle was.
I had sneaking suspicion that his uncle was alive, but to be honest, I didn't know that he was a bad guy. I thought he was kidnapped. But in the book 3, I saw that 100% twist in the book 3. I
Oh
saw that
man,
one from the get go. It was
man!
very, very
In the
obvious.
end of book one, it's revealed that it's him, that he's the bad guy.
Yes.
But in the middle of book one, when he's like steward or butler or
Butler,
whatever,
yes.
that was the hint. But I didn't
Yeah.
figure it out.
That I didn't figure out that he was bad guy. I didn't actually figure out anything. I just had sneaking suspicion that they are alive. That's the thing.
I felt such a fool when when they revealed it.
Yeah.
So,
But I kinda enjoyed that one. It was, I found it, interesting.
I agree.
And I also found interesting, and again, I'm not sure if this is from next book or book after that. I was intrigued by Harmony.
Mm.
Like that is the god I can like. I see this in Malazan a lot. I'm not religious. You know that I don't believe in God. But gods from Malazan I can understand. But also, man, God, like Harmony and gods from Cosmere, I can understand them because they are not omnipotent. They are not omniscient. They are extremely powerful compared to us. They have insight into things that normal humans don't have, but they are not all powerful. They are not all knowing. They are simply extremely powerful individuals who make still mistakes. And
Uh,
those are the gods that I can actually understand.
yeah, but we also kind of know that they are just a fragment of one thing that
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
they are not
yeah,
complete for sure.
yeah. But anyway, do you have anything else to add?
No, that was, enough for
No,
me.
it's probably a little bit scattered episode because guys, we are out of shape after not recording anything for 2 months and not releasing anything for at least a month. So I really hope you will enjoy this episode and see you in couple of weeks with the next book from trilogy. Bye.
Bye.